like to welcome you to WPBNetworks.com. My name's Donnie Glover. This is the Glover Report. Special thank you to Frank Johnson, very fine founder here at WPBNetworks.com, as well as our engineer, Mr. Darnell, the Cowboy fan. Say that was the bad call. What did they say?
That was a catch.
It was a catch.
It was a catch.
It was a catch.
It was a catch. Clearly, it was a catch.
Phenomenal catch.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We got to hear this. The whole
Okay.
It was payback.
It is.
Yeah, 'cause that was clearly a pass interference.
Hey man, that was a face mask in the front though.
It was
Face
holding,
mask
It,
in
it was
the
holding
front.
me for the fuck.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. They told me I was doing pretty good. Anyway, we're being micromanaged by Frank Frank Johnson, and
styled by
DChase,
Take care of you now, this camp, guy. I mean, let you
and we have Will Hanna.
Let's get you, man.
We got Park Heights in the house. What's up, Park Heights?
All day, every day.
All day.
Who got the best jerk chicken in Baltimore?
Come on now.
Somewhere in Park Heights.
Is it Royal Maroon?
I'm gonna tell you, it used to be.
Used to be Royal Maroon. I now
No,
go
it used to
down
be
the
the
avenue.
Trinity spot.
The Trinity?
The Trinity spot. The
With
Trinity had
jerk
the best
chicken?
The Trinity had the best jerk chicken in Park Heights. The Trinities had the best jerk chicken. I'm gonna go on the record.
That's antithetical. I thought the Trinities did curry.
Hey, listen.
You gonna want on Belvedere?
Yeah.
On Belvedere.
I love my Jamaicans.
All right, well, let me answer me this. Tasty food.
You think we love them? You think we love them? I love them. But the
Tasty
best-
food.
the
Why was they
best
so slow?
Tasty food has some good jerk chicken. It just take you.
Is this
all
lady
the way
on the
in.
phone in our television set? You gotta go outside, lady.
Hello?
Yes, you do. Okay. You got the engineer? Okay. It's a wild for all show. Okay. Where were we?
Park Heights.
Park Heights all day.
The
every day.
Trinity spot. Tasty food.
Tasty food all day.
Why were
every
they
day.
so slow dishing up the food?
Because
They got to get it right.
they had to get it right.
The food is right there in the bin.
Listen, we have a responsibility as Africans to be Africans. We all are slow for everything. Slow and late. It's true.
The food right there, DChase.
They got to walk around 3 or 4
You go and
times.
order. I want the vegetarian. That's what the wife wanted at the time. The
Right.
vegetarian dish is right there.
Right.
All you got to do is get the thing. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. That's too much. Like
No, it don't work like that in Trinity
African
line.
people, whether they Africans in the Caribbean, whether they Africans in Africa, whether they Africans in Park Heights, African people gonna do things one way, slow.
So DJs, you've been doing the birthday parties. You've been what else you been doing? You all over the place. I remember the rooftop party. We already put you out here, lady. The rooftop party.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
Are you on the phone? She is on the phone. Why don't you guys live on the set? WPB Networks, take 2. Okay. The rooftop party. Remember that rooftop party?
Rooftop party, one of the most awesome parties I think, and definitely in my generation. With Derek Compton, Monique Jones, Zeke DeVoe, cut the contract with Rob Kowalski, Gavin, Mike bought the building. It was just an overall partnership that benefited everybody and benefited the city. It was almost like the AFAM happening once a week, or at least once a month, for those grown people.
Put her ass out. Seriously. Yeah, put her out. It's just a distraction. People calling on the phone, using Instagram, all that. Okay, so, but you know what I've noticed is that things change. There was a time I had to go all the way to Atlanta to find my Eden's Lounge people. Evil, they moved to Atlanta. But it's like in Baltimore, the party never stays at one place always. Now, Melba's is pretty consistent. But it's not a lot of Melba's. I mean, there was a time when people would say, go to volcanoes. I'm a black man. You could not pay me to go to volcanoes because somebody got shot every week. You remember that?
They did.
I'll go by.
A good friend of mine was killed down in Walker.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, good friend of mine.
Who was that?
A guy by the name of John. We know each other, streets. Just by John. I have no idea what his last name is. He's a good brother. 24 years old. He's killed right now.
So what is going on with the nightlife in Baltimore? Where can you go? I mean, you know, nearing 50. Friday night, 9 o'clock. There was a time, man. It's like, boy, get your stuff out 9 o'clock.
Right.
Get the remote.
Yeah.
Get that jerk chicken from the avenue.
Yeah.
We got a spot down the avenue near
yeah.
Franklin Street. Oh yeah.
It's good.
Ricky got the best jerk chicken. On
Yeah.
that.
I had that. It's pretty good too. The jerk is good. It's not
But I
the best
mean,
tasting food,
nightlife. I'm about staying alive to Sunday
Hey
morning.
man, this is what I say. The truth of the matter is Baltimore actually has a great nightlife scene. Baltimore is one of the few places that you can go in the country where you can go and do something every night. And it's really safe. You know, unfortunately, accidents happen all over the country. Most of the shootings that you find that happen in Baltimore don't happen in nightclubs. Most of them, they happen in communities and neighborhoods. So I think that, Baltimore gets a bad rap in terms of, it's not safe to party. It's very safe to party. Knock on wood, I don't really entertain those events. Unfortunately for us, again, knock on wood, they don't really happen because,
The crowd you attract.
People are attracted to a certain quality, and that's what we try to stay consistent.
What's that quality? I'm thinking your demographic is 25, 45.
No, I always say, my quote is slick people don't have dress codes. It's a mentality. I grew up in Park Heights. So for me to say you got to have a pair of slippery Earls to come in my event, every event, that's not realistic, because that would be isolating people who I love and grow and respect. The man who taught me most things that I know didn't do any of that. So what I say is it's a mentality code. A alike, B alike, C alike. So as we begin to move and circulate throughout Baltimore City.
Oh, that was some Park Heights stuff. Did y'all get it? Oh! Say it again. You said A like, B like, C like. He be making up stuff on the spot.
As you begin to move throughout Baltimore, you come in contact with good people. And when good people meet each other, there's like the universe. There's a gravitational pull that we have on each other, one around the other. So as we begin to move, and then things begin to move around us. So we all are kind of like heavenly bodies floating around each other in Baltimore. And we know each other. That's why I know you.
You got a question for DChase? You from Park Heights?
Me and Chase known each other for 30-something years.
At least
30-something years.
I've been
30
in
years.
Park Heights in '75. So
Yeah. 30 years. So all the questions we didn't discuss. I think that I'm very proud of my brother, because he's done a lot over the years. From Morgan and all that. If people that know DChase, and DChase is like, it's not even a name. It's like a thing now. The DChase movement is a thing now. It's like, I'm going to that DChase thing. They might even know who Chase is. They don't even know his name is real Derek Chase. They don't even know it's DChase. They just think it's a thing. It's a DChase thing. Like they're chasing something. They're going after something. So I think now he's created a movement, and like he said, we mentioned with the rooftop parties and all that with him and Monique and Derek Compton and all them, and big shout out to them, because they y'all done some great things over the years. But I think now, you got your wings, man, and you flying.
Yes,
so I'm proud of you.
Hey man,
So,
I'm proud to know who I know. I know some bad guys. I told my mother this one time. My mother was talking about, how she was discouraged in Baltimore. I said, Mom, most people would be discouraged in Baltimore if they didn't know who I knew. The greatest thing about me, Donnie, and you can write this down, if I die before you, what I'm saying, then I'll say some great things. But if I die before you, this is what I need you to say. All right, get it right. The best thing about me was the people that I came in contact with. It ain't me at all.
Tell me about David Miller.
Oh, David Miller, man,
man,
great human being. Another guy who grew up in Park Heights.
Absolutely.
Another guy who, experienced what Park Heights can give you, good, bad, and in between. Who utilized the energy that a place like Park Heights gives you to be a force to be reckoned with for good in the universe. Not in Baltimore, not in the country, but around the world. Dave is vacillating between Baltimore City, California, and Africa.
Africa, yeah.
Developing African people all over the country. And not even limited to African people, because his message is so universal, although, in particular, it's tailored to us at this time because of the condition we find ourselves in. David Miller is a great human being. Lamar Shields, Dr. Lamar Shields, a great human being.
Joe
Kevin
Jones.
Brooks. Joe Jones.
Joe Jones.
You know, we can go through them. Baltimore's full of.
What you know about Joe Jones?
Center for Urban Families. Doing
it
it down there on Monroe Street.
Seriously.
He was so committed to Park Heights that he put the Center for Urban Families originally in Park Heights on Druid Park Drive. And, you know, he started there, and his whole mission initially was to help people in Park Heights. He grew up right there on Shirley Avenue. Right. You know, so
2526 Shirley Avenue.
Yeah, right there on Shirley Avenue. So Joe had that commitment. But when I look at people that have come out of Park Heights, I look at those. I look at David. I look at Chase. I look at Derek Compton. And I look at all of Lamar and all these people that came out of Park Heights. That you know, it's a cultural thing for us. You know, it was like we had a commitment to the community. Like I remember when we were growing up in the 3700 block of Ricestown. Right. There are about 20, 25 of us that grew up on that block that are all positive people today, whether they're police officers, whether they're
Did any of them
troopers.
come out of Palmer Court?
There are a lot of guys came out of Palmer Court. There were a lot of guys that came out of Palmer Court.
Had a reputation like Lafayette.
Like Lafayette. I came out. Look, before I moved to Park Heights, I lived in Murphy Home.
If you didn't know somebody around Palmer Court, you would have been shot.
Yeah, that's Park Heights and Woodland back in the day. I mean, it was all that. It was
especially Palmer Court because it was somewhat.
It was isolated. Yeah, it was like New Jack City. It was like New Jack City.
Oh yeah, you getting got going.
Yeah, it was like New Jack City. You know, and you know, if you look at over the time, you know, things have calmed down tremendously in Park Heights. I don't care how bad people say Park Heights.
They locked up everybody.
Down. But you can look at that citywide. You can say citywide.
Park Heights it's been an elimination of black people out of Park Heights. It's not as dense as it once was.
Yeah, I mean, we went from 33,000 people just from Northern Parkway to Druid Park Drive to about 26,000 people.
Took out a good several thousand.
Yep, tore down both sets of those, you know, and it's some of that is by design.
All I want to know is what in the world will it take to get lake trout
back to
back to what we used to? The line ran a corner thing.
Right. I mean, it was the dirty grease, man. You know what I mean?
It was the old ladies cooking in the back.
Hey, the old lady cooking, the guy with the swollen face, big guy with the big head. Certain things you just can't leave.
It must have been something else that had been a consistent.
It's changed hands. It's changed hands. And my cousin actually, I'll say this in full disclosure, my cousin actually owns it now. And he's had it for the past few years, but I don't think he has the same grease. I think it's not the same grease. Let me just say that he's not using the same grease. And love my cousin dearly, but I think the thing is that you have to have a very strategic marketing plan when you come to a business that has the reputation of a lake trout. You have to come in and you don't change the formula. And I think sometimes
do everything you can. Am I right?
Sometimes when something's not broke. Yeah.
Nobody should have known.
Exactly.
What messed it up is that people thought it wasn't the same. Even if it wasn't the same, they didn't give it a chance.
They never gave it a chance.
But the other thing that we got to look at in a place like Park Heights or any place in the city is that, again, we just said the population was 33,000. All right, we said the population is 26,000. I would argue that a great number of those people are people who had a little bit of income to play with, and that was an experience. Right, including myself. I live 25, 26 Shirley Avenue, 29, 12 Bowell Avenue, 37, 24 Ricestown Road, then I moved to the 3800 block of Ricestown Road, and I moved to the bottom of it. All right, but those guys, we all moved out. You know what I'm saying? We all moved out. So you have a good number of people who have moved out of Park Heights. And so the reality of it is, unless they come back to support that business, you got a gaping hole.
They don't have the relationship.
They don't exactly. You don't have people who understand the legacy of that. Micah's, Phil Crump and his family. Micah's was right at the street. Yellow Bowl.
Micah's had them $12 chicken breasts.
Yeah, it's an institution. But
Micah's had an expensive piece of chicken.
Yeah, but you had raised an important point about Park Heights.
I couldn't afford Micah's. I could afford it. That was one piece of chicken was $12. I can't even get no macaroni.
Oh man, that food was so good. Yeah. Phil, shouts out to Phil Crump.
Phil Crump
has taken over where his father left off, and he's cooking. Phil is cooking. He has a company. It's called catering company. It's called Up in Smoke Catering. Phil Crump, great food.
So you can relate to the concept that overhead will kill you.
Overhead will kill you, man. like anything, whenever you taking over something, Johnny, first and foremost, got to do, you got to respect it. All right. Sometimes as we begin to develop and evolve, we think that we got a secret that's greater than the secret.
But you got some stuff. You can really teach me something about myself.
Right.
When you go and touch something, I know you did stuff with Monique. I know you did stuff with Derek Compton. But I remember going back to the days of the Robeson.
That's right.
Sons of Robeson.
That's right.
Tell me about that Chase Magic.
Oh man, the Chase Magic is, man. I went to mountain.
I mean, do you have like a formula?
I do have a formula. But the formula starts in terms of how we were created. I went to Duke Ellington. All right, I left Duke Ellington. I went to Malcolm X. I learned the poem, aim for a star. Never be satisfied with life, just less than the best. Failure lies and not having tried and keep your soul suppressed. I learned that in first grade. All right. By the time I got to fourth grade, I learned. Today, I would like to say today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. A dream deeply rooted in the American dream. So it's Malcolm X and Dr. King. Both schools are located in Park Heights.
In Park Heights.
So it gave birth
At Langston Hughes.
They
At Langston
to
Hughes.
Hughes.
And those schools still have the names on
Yes.
them?
Well,
Malcolm X is
Malcolm
something
X is
different.
not what
They
it
took the
was.
name off of
They took the
Malcolm
name
X.
off.
Because one of the
They
things
getting ready to
I want-
close Langston Hughes.
One of the things I want Sheila Dixon to do when she becomes mayor again of the city of Baltimore is to put the names back on the buildings.
Because those names tied us into a legacy. You know what I mean?
George G. Kelson down my way.
Yeah. There's a fight. This is done. This is the magic. There's a fighting spirit in Baltimore. All right. Baltimore. If you look at historically what Baltimore is represented, I'm talking
Largest
about.
population of free blacks
Come
prior
on,
to
man.
the Civil War.
Come on, man. You're talking about 25,000 free people in a slaveholding
Here you
state.
go. Here you go. Hit him.
So at the end of the day, I would argue that power had to be neutralized. So the reality of it is that Park Heights in particular represented a stronghold and a movement of our people from Pennsylvania Avenue, going straight up. Pennsylvania, okay, you come up Fulton, you come up Pennsylvania,
You're in Park
Pennsylvania Avenue dumps you off in the Ricerstown Road.
That's right, you're in
Ricerstown
Park
Road
Heights.
splits off into two places. Ricerstown Road, Park Heights. So you got an energy. You go up there. You go name the schools that when you Duke Ellington, Langston Hughes, Malcolm X,
Dr. King.
Dr. King. Those people fought for those names. So at the end of the day, there's a revolutionary consciousness that's in the city that has always been in here. So now we at a time now, Donnie, where it's movement time. So the secret and the magic of DChase, it ain't a secret at all. God calls all of us at a time to do a very special duty. So all that stuff is a strategy, Donnie. That ain't nothing. I ain't no party guy. Everybody loves Friday, but everybody loves Friday is based upon the celebration of life. To celebrate and give everybody the platform they're supposed to have. I recognize who people are. I don't take that for granted. You know what I mean?
People are very honored. I guess I've had to come down there and do my 50th with
You better.
But
You better, Don, from Park Heights.
I know, but I like the people when they have their party. It reminds me really like Black Wall Street events. People feel special, and they on there. The whole world, they Instagram and tag
That's
and
right.
Facebook, and I'm gonna be down oxygen with DChase. You better.
Hey, but Donnie, but they got what people. What I want people to understand is that they not with me. I'm with them. You know what I'm saying?
It's an energy. It's an energy.
Yeah, you right.
It's a cipher. Isn't that the term?
It is. It's a cipher. When we there, man, this is a very, very special, unique time, man.
And people from DC come there to talk.
Hey, listen, man, we average about 30% of our parties coming up from DC. That don't happen. Because the reality of it is that, it's a very, very special energy when you don't do parties, you do celebrations.
That's right.
You can go find a party anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's two cats sitting in the corner of Duke and Long, and they having a party. They shooting up. They sky high. They having a time of their life. But when you come down to everybody that's Friday, it's a celebration.
But the owners, I would presume, of Oxygen feel very blessed
They feel
to
very
have
blessed.
you.
They feel very blessed, and what I love about them is that we met. So it's a fair deal. It's a fair deal. I'm able to give the best deal to everybody. I say this is what we say. Now tell me that this not out. Say, listen, I want you to come, right? You don't have to pay me nothing. You can give me whatever you want to give me, but you don't owe me nothing. I don't even look at how much you gave me, truth be told. All right? You can bring all your friends for free, Doc. Every one of them. Your cousin Pookie can come. All right? And your professional relationships, Your great grandmother, we have people there from the ages of 21, Doni, I lot you not to 85 in one place. It don't happen. You know, one time I had this one.
Y'all did a party for 85-year-old lady.
Doni, I had a lady in there. Literally, we had to carry her up the steps. She was 87 years old.
Now, that's hard.
Listen, she's there, Doni. This is what I love. She's there with her daughter, who's 60. All right, with her daughter, who's 40, and her daughter's daughter, who's 22. And they in the same environment. I said, well, you want something? I said, you want something? You want something, ma'am? She said, yeah, give me a plate. She didn't have to pay for the plate. I had to charge her. And give me 2 Coronas. Come on, man. In one place. That's the energy. So what it represents is not so much of a party place. We bring people who are worthy of celebration, worthy of being celebrated. And this is where we're going with this, Doni. Maybe you can help. All right? What we want to do is we want to move from the party to getting to know the person behind the party. So we want to have a television segment, all right, where we say if it's 20 parties, you average every week about 16 parties every week. That don't happen. That's special. All right? 16 people decide that they're going to share their lives with us. We want to put them on a platform and they know we send them over to Doni. You know what I mean? Who are you? You know, because all of us, we have a struggle. If we're in Baltimore and we have any level of success, that means we've overcome a lot.
So is there a website?
There's I'm Facebook. I'm a Facebook guy. That's my tool of choice. DChase. We do own the website. Everybody Loves Fridays is in development. We also
before you go, I need you gotta give me some UNIA action, man. Tell me about UNIA.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about Marcus Garvey like that except you.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, this is what I say. This is what I love. Marcus Garvey is one of my greatest mentors. All right, and I tell people in life, you gotta find a person in antiquity, and you got to find a person in actuality. You got to find those two people, and you got to utilize them as guides to your life. But Marcus Garvey is one of my greatest ones. And Marcus Garvey said wherever he traveled all over the world, he said wherever he found black people and white people, he said we found black people was always on the bottom of the struggle. And he said he was called to make that shift. All right, so when he called the movement, Africa for Africans, he recognized, number one, that Africa had the greatest, by a single country, has 60% of the world's resources in it. That's why there's a race to Africa now. But if we would have listened, and this is the problem with black people, we'd have listened to Marcus Garvey, we would have been ahead of the curve. So this is where we're going. And this talks in what is the magic of DChase. All right, what we're saying is that Baltimore is a port city, number one. Okay, it's slowly becoming an international city. All right, it has historically been a city where a revolutionary consciousness has always been present. It's also 40 miles away from the nation's capital. Okay, so that's a it's also literally in the middle, the dividing point of the United States. The Mason-Dixon line is 50 miles away from the top line of Baltimore. 50 miles. All right, so it's the dividing line of the United States. Right? It's also the deepest seaport. All right, it's also the city of first, not for black people, but for America, the first Catholic church. All right, some of the other European churches, all there first. The first person to organize the public works system. First place we get to the negative. First place for Noah. First place where the project idea was tested and tried. So Baltimore's they've always been testing Baltimore. Why are they testing Baltimore, Doni? They testing Baltimore
because if they get it over on us, they can get it over on anybody else.
Which means, on the flip side, if we win here,
we can win everywhere.
We can win everywhere. So this is what. Now you listen to this. This is what it is. I met with Stokey Kennedy yesterday. Stokey is directly tied to Jay-Z. That whole empire. Our next move, and we're gonna put it out there, is what we're trying to do is we're trying to draw a fault line. This is going to be the place right now for the next 22 years. All right, where our experiences as a people is going to come to a head. And what we're asking all of you guys to do, Puffy, Meek Mills, Jada Kiss, anybody who has any idea, any sense of revolutionary consciousness, what we're asking you to do right now is we need you to buy property here, and we want you to watch Baltimore in particular in the next 4 years, because what we're going to do, we have $200,000 that we're raising right now because we're looking to either seat or unseat six offices. So you know who you are, because we're coming for you. All right, we're coming for you. We're coming to help you. One or the other. You know who you are. Are we either coming for you or coming to help you? Let's be real clear. But we're going to take 6 seats. We believe that we have 1 or 2 that are definitely worthy of being there. And what we're going to do is we're going to redirect that $3 billion into some real revolutionary activity. But it has to be a movement. We can't. The reality of it is that a lot of our politicians, they have to kowtow to these powers to be, because those powers to be are very organized and they've had agendas that have been going on
The
for
thing is,
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years.
Have we changed much? Have we grown? Have we emerged, evolved much since slavery?
The reality of it is that the truth is we really should not, because we were stronger as a community of people who were enslaved than we are as a community of people who have some
more
aspect of
self-determined.
we were more self-determined. We had a very, very clear end game. Whenever you play a game of chess, see, some people get in the chess game and they just exchange pieces.
End game is everything.
All right, but if you can, I can take all of your pieces. But if I make you with the pawn,
It don't matter.
it don't matter. So what we have to strategically been doing, and I think this is the missing part of our movement and the missing part of our politicians, is they're not playing towards an end game. They don't, number one, they have not, and if you're gonna play a game such as chess, you gotta recognize all of your pieces and how they function. How are you gonna not know me in a city like Baltimore? If you don't know me, if you don't know Donnie Glover, if you don't know Will Hanna in a city of Baltimore, if you're not having regular conversations, then you're not serious. Because the reality of it is that Donnie, we got our finger on the pulse of how this city moves in ways that people don't understand. You know, bottom line, we know where 200 keys of coke are coming from, and we know where the $200 million has been misappropriated. We know where it is. You can't fix it. Bottom line, I was talking to Stokely Kennedy, man.
We don't know directly. Look,
I mean, it's
That's right.
It's figurative language.
That's right.
Figurative. All right. But bottom line, if your heat is broke down, all right, and I say I'm gonna come in and fix your heat, I gotta understand all the components of how heat works. Okay. Now, if I don't understand how the components of the heat work, if I don't
You
understand
sound like
the
the
nuances,
people that was advising Anthony Brown, because they didn't know where all the pieces were. They went and got these experts. I'm sorry.
They was playing checkers.
You right. How you gonna lose that?
How you gonna
How
bring,
you gonna-
somebody here to beat the home team?
You can't do that, man.
They don't know where the alley at, where the hole is, where the cut, where the dip.
Hey Donnie, so in short, what we're planning right now, we're planning a serious movement. Like I told my wife, you know, I was an administrator at Forest Park High School. I took a leave of absence, all right? Because I'm gearing up. We have to have a spirit if we're
You
serious.
running for office?
I may.
I'm in.
It's a consideration.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
I know you will do right. Because you've seen money, and a lot of these cats, one, we have no business sense.
We have no business, and then the other thing is, Donnie, see, coming from a place like we come from, how are you going to punish me? Okay, I'm sorry. How are you going to punish me?
That's right.
What are you going to do? Lock me up?
That's
I was
right.
built to be locked up. What are you going to do? Kill me? I'm not worried about that. What are you going to do? Make me
That's
poor?
right.
I was raised
That's
poor.
what we already
so
wrote
when
for.
you got people who are bound by their fears, Donnie, they can't move with a certain level of freedom.
And we ain't scared of nothing.
So we ain't scared of nothing. And not only that, Donnie,
Fear
fear,
is
We ain't scared of
fear
nothing.
equalizes a lot of stuff.
I don't like being around scared people.
The other part is
Here come Martin O'Malley.
but our capacity to love. See, when you have no fear and the highest capacity to love, and you bring those things together with resources,
It's
with
not
a clear end game, what you gonna do, Don? And what I'm simply saying is that now is the time. You know, we never showed our hand. So now is the time. You don't know what type of power that's in this shit. You don't know because we never showed our hand. See, now show the hand time. Now you thought you had, you know, Trump type. You thought you don't matter. You thought you had a hand.
One of the boss.
You haven't seen a hand like this because you never had to deal with this. The reality of it is, and this is what I argue, is that we are stronger. We love our fathers, all right, but our fathers had to endure a condition and be under situations, all right, that we had to make sacrifices that we don't have to make. So we honor our fathers, but we stand on the backs of our fathers, and we are stronger by training than our fathers. And what we're arguing is that we're stronger than our fathers, but we're arguing that you're weaker than your father. So you take your weakness against my strength, and what you gonna get?
So look, he put in Marcus Garvey, one ancestor who motivates you.
My stuff.
No, ancestor.
Deep ancestor. If I had to go back, if I had to
Everybody
go all the way back, I probably would say Malcolm X.
And I'm gonna throw in Harriet
I'm
Tubman.
gonna have to say Malcolm X.
I'm gonna throw in Harriet Tubman. So you got Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman,
Marcus
and
Garvey.
Marcus Garvey. That's some powerful
You
ancestry.
can't lose, man.
Absolutely.
DChase,
We come. Everybody loves Fridays. Everybody loves Doni. 50th birthday.
That's right.
Will Hanna.
ParkHeightCDC.com.
Special thanks to Frank Johnson. Special thanks to our Cowboy fan engineer.
It was a bad call.
It was a bad call, Donnell.
Bad call.
This has been the Glover Report. Thank you for tuning in right here on WPBNetworks.com.